I've had the absolute pleasure to speak to hundreds of teachers from across Australia about From Paddock to Plate over the last couple of months. And what was a really lovely surprise was that I heard from a lot of English and science, geography, and design and technologies teachers. I mean, given the name From Paddock to Plate, our program is normally pigeonholed into ag and food tech and food studies. So it was really lovely to hear from these other teachers, and predominantly Year 7 English. So because of that, today's episode is going to show you how to make the most of our resources if you're teaching Year 7 English. So let's jump in. If you're already a subscriber, just log in the way you normally would. If you haven't yet subscribed, head to the program page. We've got 3 subscription options there. Choose the one that's right for you and log in. And then once you're logged in, let's scroll down to lesson plans, Year 7 English, and let's just go to the first one there. That is careers. Okay, let's download careers Year 7 primary English. Our lesson plans are laid out in the same way, all of them, for ease of use. We start with themes and topics, a curriculum focus, reflection questions, our Australian curriculum links, a little bit on getting started if you're new to our program. And then we have lots of facts and vocabulary and useful words and phrases for this particular topic. So if you're new to this topic, we've got you covered. And then we start the lesson. Texts and technologies. And here, of course, we advise you to perhaps go and watch our careers virtual video excursions. We've got 3, it's a 3-part series. Because we reference Georgia here in this sub-lesson, she features in careers part 2. So just head to virtual video excursions in our drop-down menu. You can watch this one, you can watch the particular areas of the video that we've referenced in the lesson. You can watch all 3 if you've got time. Head back to the lesson. If we scroll down, you can see we've divided it into sub-lessons. So getting to the top is a sub-lesson. Students consider the use of a drone to film parts of the footage in these videos. Now, keep track of that thought. We're going to return to that in a minute. But because we're talking careers, why don't we head to the Farmer Network, our unique Farmer Network, where these experts are on hand to answer any questions that you have about the job that they do, the industry that they work in. They're here and available and ready to answer your questions, which is really cool. It's an amazing resource that's included in our program. Back to the lesson, we're scrolling down. Getting to the top, as we mentioned, is a sub-lesson. If we continue scrolling down, another sub-lesson is what's for breakfast. Well, what a great opportunity here to head to the recipe section of the program. Lots of delicious, wholesome, yummy breakfast recipes, as well as you can see hundreds of other recipes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Back to the lesson plan, getting to the top. Here we suggest going to our Masterclass section in the drop-down menu and watching our quad bike safety masterclass. Okay, back to lesson plans. And remember we spoke about that drone footage. Well, in our saffron video, we've got some awesome drone footage, which would be a really lovely cross-reference to this particular lesson. We've also got some excellent drone footage in our almonds virtual video excursion. So you can reference these parts of our virtual video excursions within this specific lesson. On the topic of almonds, why don't we head back to our lesson plans, Year 7 English, and why don't we go to the almonds, Year 7 and primary English lesson. Again, as you can see, laid out in a very similar fashion to our careers Year 7 primary English lesson. Lots of Australian curriculum links here. A little bit on getting started. Facts and vocabulary, useful words and phrases within the almonds industry. And then we start the lesson evaluation and opinion. Did the video provoke any emotions in you or cause you to make any judgments about people's actions? Well, we've got some lovely raw amateur footage in our masterclass section, as well as our famous farmers video section, which we'll get to in a minute, which would be a really good addition to this part of the lesson. So why don't we go back to the drop-down menu, go to Masterclasses, and click on GPS navigation, where we chat to Mike Doust, a Qantas pilot, about his experience using his skill of GPS navigation in 2 different jobs.
Sector, obviously, were going to be short of their itinerant workforce. Quite often for harvest season, a lot of workers do come in from overseas, and that just wasn't going to be possible with the pandemic. So the farmers were going to be caught short with workers, as in not enough, and we had a lot of airline pilots sitting around with not much to do. So this meant that there was quite an opportunity for some of us, if we wanted to go and join the harvest. I took that opportunity up. I was lucky enough to secure some work with a family-run operation up near Birchip in the Mallee in Victoria.
Okay, so a really interesting insight there from Mike. So why don't we now head back to the lesson plan that we were on. Scrolling down, you can see here that grab from the Almonds virtual video excursion that grabs the trunk. So we're going to scroll to that section of the video and watch that footage.
A machine, specially designed machine, who grabs the trunk of the tree and then shakes it for up to 3 seconds, and all the nuts fall onto the ground. Once the nuts have been sitting on the ground for 3 days, we get...
On returning back to the lesson plan, scrolling down, we explore opinions and then we write responses. And then at the end, an activity card, a hard nut to crack. So back to writing responses. Respond and defend points of view. Students write personal essays developing and elaborating on classmates' responses about why it's important to know where our food comes from. And what would be an awesome addition to this lesson would be to check out the beef topic. So if we go to Beef Year 7 Primary English, that particular lesson, documentary devices, and in exploring the overview and conclusion sublesson, we look at the From Paddock to Plate topic. And then we also suggest you at the end of this sublesson to check out our beef podcast pack. So let's go to podcast packs in the drop down menu, click on beef, and all our podcast packs are laid out in a similar fashion again. If you click on that link, you can download the MP3 audio file of our beef virtual video excursion. We have lots of websites, tips and tricks to download free recording and editing programs. We have transcribed the entire video for you, as well as done a profile piece on our beef producer and recommended other lessons that would be really good follow-on activities to this podcast pack. Okay, so back to our Beef Year 7 Primary English lesson, tackling a topic. And it would be lovely, I think, at this point as well to hear from other beef producers. So why don't we head to our case studies section of the program and get another perspective from Eva Valley Meats.
Hi, I'm Fiona from Eva Valley Meats in Bachelor in the Northern Territory. I'm here to show you about our cattle farm.
Back to the lesson plan, and when looking at tackling a topic, you can see all the different topics that Warren mentions includes the fact that he believes cows were meant to eat grass. Now, this is an exclusively grass-fed, free-range beef operation. So now would be a great time to go back to our lesson plan. Now, the egg farm that we feature here is also a free range enterprise. So here is the lesson, technical language. Scrolling down, again, lots of different sub lessons here. In Write It Up, students work in groups to list reasons for free range egg production and against. They determine which practice is best for the environment, which method is best for the birds, and which system is best for the consumer. Working individually, they write, rehearse, and deliver a persuasive piece on the question, should all eggs be produced in free range conditions? Back up to virtual video excursions. Now would be a really good time to watch the eggs virtual video excursion. Back to the lesson plan. We can see with lots of teacher resources and web links, lots of recommended source material to save you time before and after class searching online. And then right at the bottom, we suggest that you head to the homework section of our program. This is the comprehension section of the program. Click on eggs and let's download the eggs secondary worksheet. And here we have lots of reflection and research questions in this online fillable worksheet. And now this is a great opportunity to head back to the farmer network and reach out to our egg farmer there in the network. And what some teachers are doing is they're setting up a time to do a Zoom call with that farmer in the classroom on the big screen, and students do a direct Q&A with that farmer to answer some of these comprehension questions. At the end of this worksheet, you can see here we recommend lessons that would be a really good addition to the worksheet. English Year 7, Lesson 5, Technical Language. Isn't that the lesson we're already in? Yes, it is. So as you can see, we've come full circle Finally, let's head to the famous farmers section of the program. These are short 30-second to 1-minute videos filmed by our farmers, particularly lots of young farmers took up the opportunity out in the field. So let's listen to some egg farmers as a great addition to the egg lesson we've just been working on.
Hi everyone, I'm Megan from Forage Farms. This is Stuart. We run the farm here with our two sons, Hamish and Lockie. We have 6,000 laying hens for eggs. We also have some pigs for pork, some lamb, and also some.
So as you can see, once you start, you can't stop. Our resources have been designed to flow from one to the next to ensure you've always got entertaining, engaging and educational lessons for your students in the one location. So if you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel. We've got lots more videos coming your way. And in the comments, let me know what subject and year level you'd like us to film next.